So we have this mask that we want to do for an illustration. So first thing, we have to clean all the surroundings, as you can see here. So we have a really big, maybe surrounding map. So I want to delete it like this. Now we have this plot. We will delete it as well. And let's delete the trees. So I'm going to delete it. Or let's select all of them. And maybe also we are going to delete these ones. And shall we delete this one or not? I think I will also delete it. So we have this mess. Now let's try to put it into maybe a new file. So I'm going to save it as a new file like. So now we have our file. Let's change the style of the visualization of this massing. We are going to do this by going down here to the styles tab, and from the straight lines we are going to maybe change and see the one that we like. So this doesn't really look like illustrative somehow from far away. If you go down, yeah, it looks fine, but from above it looks really confusing, I think. So maybe we can change the style itself. So what you are guys going to do is just try to figure out the styles that you have here. If not, we can edit the style and, you know, do some modifications on it so that it looks better. So for instance, this one as lines is fine. It looks confusing because it doesn't show the colors or the materials, but let's start with it and let's see the edit tab. So here, for example, if you see here, you can find that edges is ticked, back edges is not ticked. If you tick it, it will look like this, and this actually gives this abstract feeling that I wanted. So I will leave it open, and you can just try with the profiles, depth queue, and how does these things would like look. So you can change and see exactly the feelings of each one. You can see here, for example, how does it changes. So for instance, this one looks fine for me, and you can also change the color. So for example, I don't want to have them in black, so maybe I will change them into this one, and it looks for me even better. So we like this one. We can just export it, but first of all, let's have a nice angel like this one. No, let's this one, yes, and let's export it. Export to the graphics, and let's save it on the desktop, for example. Okay, and here we go. We exported this into Photoshop, and let's have this color. So simply by this, and I have a background that I'm going to also attach in this tutorial files. So this background has a lot of triangles. Now it looks a little bit disturbing because it has a really intensive color. But I choose the triangles because it somehow have the same concepts of the massing maybe. But I have to change the opacity and the color of this background so that it looks nice. But first of all, as you can see here, my background changed into gray, which means that this is on grayscale. So we have to change it by the image mode, and let's do it RGB. And now we want to change the color first, so Control U, and let's do colorize. We have already chosen this foreground color, so we don't need to change the hue, we just need to maybe change the saturation and the lightness. So you can change here the saturation, for instance. And if you want, you can reduce the opacity of this. How can we do this? Let's press twice and OK. And let's reduce the opacity. And let's have a new layer, drop it on the bottom, and paint it with white. And here we go. Let's now put this shapes on the other background. How can we do this? Let's choose the magic wand tool, and now we choose everything around it, but there are some mistakes, so we have to exclude them from the selection by the lasso tool, and I'm pressing on Alt so that I'm getting the things out. Now let's see, let's make a control. If there any mistake, we see one here. Alt with the lasso tool, I'm getting this parts out, and as well here, Alt, and I'm pressing. Perfect. Now we choose the one on the outer side of the shapes, so right click, select inverse. Now we have our mass, Control C and Control V, and let's put this on the top and make it smaller. So if you make it smaller like this, it doesn't really occupy maybe the most of the canvas, so you can just put a part of it maybe like this and copy it and put the other part like this and drag it down, and now you have a beautiful abstracted image. But maybe you want to add more. How can you add more? Maybe you want to emphasize this areas inside. So by the move tool, we select it and we choose any part we want. We can try filling it like this, and let's choose another ones here, and maybe here, and tack. Maybe you can choose also this one here and tack. So let's choose another one here, maybe to make this balance. Yeah, now we have our beautiful and really easy, maybe we say composition, abstract composition. So if you guys don't have really this much of a complicated structure or a complicated massing, you can do it easily on just producing one mass and then cutting it, and as I did here, duplicate it and just compose it according to the basic design principles. And that's all for today.